Hi, ParathineWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday morning, August 30th. Hurricane Ida made landfall midday yesterday along the southern Louisiana coastline as a strong Category 4 storm. It is moving slowly this morning to the north, continues to produce some strong winds, maximum sustained winds 60 miles per hour. It has been downgraded to a tropical storm, still producing some heavy rainfall, and that swath of heavy rain will push into the Tennessee Valley over the next 24 to 36 hours or so, and then into the Mid-Atlantic region and northeast U.S. from later Wednesday into the early part of Thursday. Flash flooding is possible all along the path of the remains of Ida over the next 24, 48, 72 hours or so. Let's take a look at the latest radar imagery loop from the College of DuPage weather website. Not hard at all to find the circulation center right here in this part of Mississippi, the southwestern part of Mississippi. Lots of power outages remain this morning across New Orleans and much of the southern and eastern part of Louisiana into Mississippi. And again, still producing some heavy rainfall today, and the movement has slowed down some from the relatively rapid movement over the weekend of 15, 16 miles an hour or so to the northwest. Now only moving north at around 9 miles per hour. It is kind of making a turn to the north and east and slow down some as it shifts from northwest to north and ultimately to the northeast. Again, it will produce some heavy rainfall all along its path over the next 24 to 36 hours or so in the Tennessee Valley, where they don't need the rain. They had some tremendous rain in parts of Tennessee just a week or so ago. And then it moves to the north and east, really right along the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor from later Wednesday into the morning hours on Thursday. Produce heavy rain all along the I-95 corridor region from D.C. to Boston, up to several inches of rain possible throughout the Mid-Atlantic region and at least the southern and eastern part of the northeastern states, again from later Wednesday into Thursday. And much of the grounds are well saturated up across the Mid-Atlantic region, so that certainly raises the likelihood for some localized flash flooding with this midweek tropical rainfall event. Well, let's take a look at where we stand this morning. Nearing the end of the month of August, the tropical season in the Atlantic Basin tends to reach a peak around the middle part of September, and it is certainly still an active scene here in the Atlantic Basin. First of all, the remains of Ida still is a pretty powerful tropical storm producing maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour. It will take a turn to the north and east over the next 24, 48 hours, so pretty much move over D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and into this part of the northeast U.S. And we'll see the QPF, the total precipitation amount forecast by NOAA for the next few days. Right along this path, significant rainfall of up to 5, 6, 7 inches of rain in some areas. Grounds are well saturated in the Tennessee Valley. Grounds are pretty well saturated in much of the Mid-Atlantic region, hence the likelihood, unfortunately, for some localized flash flooding associated with Ida. Meanwhile, we have another tropical system out over the central Atlantic, and way off to the east, another wave here just now moving to the west coast of Africa. And here's the official forecast track over the next few days of Ida. Tropical storm right now in the southwestern part of Mississippi. It will continue to weaken over the next 12 to 24 hours or so, probably down to tropical depression status as it takes a turn to the north and east over the Tennessee Valley, significant rainfall, and then over the Mid-Atlantic region, producing some heavy rain in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City from later Wednesday into early Thursday. As is typical with tropical systems, as they move into the higher and higher latitudes, they tend to accelerate. Notice the increase in speed here as it moves farther and farther to the north. And by the time we get to Wednesday night, early Thursday, this is really the time period for the most significant rainfall probably in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. Again, Wednesday night into early Thursday, and localized flash flooding is certainly on the table, not only in the Mid-Atlantic region, but in the Tennessee Valley as well. And here's NOAA's forecast of total precipitation amounts over the next 5 days, right through the early morning hours of Saturday from this morning, Monday morning. And this just reflects the expected path of Ida, again, from where it is right now, southwestern Mississippi, only moving slowly to the north right at the moment, 9 miles per hour. Continues to move north for a while, then turns to the north and east, heads for right around the D.C. metro region, Philadelphia, New York City, on its way to the north and east. And this is depicting rainfall amounts, and I totally agree with it, of 2, 3, 4, even 5 and 6 inches of rain possible right along this path. And again, a lot of the soil contents are full of moisture here at the top layers here, very wet, saturated ground conditions across the Tennessee Valley, the Mid-Atlantic region due to recent heavy rainfall. So that increases the chance for some localized flash flooding. It continues to produce heavy rain right up to Boston and the southern part of New England by the time we get to late in the day on Thursday. Well, we'll take a look at the GFS model run, but first just kind of a quick snapshot of last night's 0Z European model run for later Wednesday night. Again, this is the time period for a significant rainfall in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. This is the forecast map for right around after midnight hours, Wednesday night going into early Thursday by the 0Z run of the European model. Just wanted to show confirmation from that particular model for the GFS, which also shows some heavy rainfall headed to the Mid-Atlantic region. Well, let's now walk through that aforementioned GFS model run. This is from 6Z, the operational GFS run, and there is a frontal system that is kind of limping its way into the Mid-Atlantic region. It could cause some showers and thunderstorms in the Mid-Atlantic region late today and perhaps even more likely tonight. And then it stalls out, acts as a conduit for all that tropical moisture to ride up and along that stalled out frontal boundary zone, producing the heavy rainfall. Again, first in the Tennessee Valley, and then later Wednesday into early Thursday in the Mid-Atlantic region and northeast U.S. Here is Tropical Storm Ida at the moment, and continues to move northward for the next several hours right through Mississippi. This is the forecast map for this evening. Notice it does not move far at all from the southwestern part of Mississippi to west central Mississippi by this evening. That is not good news in terms of total precipitation amounts down in this part of the nation. It increases the chance for very significant rainfall amounts with that slow movement. Here's that frontal system inching its way into the Mid-Atlantic region. Again, it could cause some showers and thunderstorms late today and especially tonight. Places like Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, and then it stalls out. And that frontal boundary zone acts kind of as a conduit for the tropical moisture. And here's the forecast map for later tomorrow, Tuesday evening. Heavy rain over the Tennessee Valley, and then that just shifts to the north and east into the Mid-Atlantic region for later Wednesday into early Thursday. There may be the heaviest rainfall amounts could be just to the northwest side of Route I-95 from later Wednesday into early Thursday, but certainly there can be some heavy rainfall right in the urban areas as well. Again, we're talking maybe 2, 3, 4 inches of rain in some spots, 5, 6 inches of rain later Wednesday into early Thursday. Here's the forecast map for that same time we just looked at the European model. Both models have significant rainfall Wednesday night, late Wednesday night especially, going into early Thursday morning in the I-95 corridor from D.C. to New York City, and that shifts to the northeast right into Boston by the early morning hours of Thursday. Finally, the remains of Ida exit the Mid-Atlantic coastline by later in the day on Thursday, and cooler air certainly will follow this system. In fact, during the height of the storm itself, Wednesday and Wednesday night, it'll be on the cool side, probably temperatures in the 70s with a northeast low-level flow of air into the I-95 corridor region of the Mid-Atlantic region. And certainly Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday look comfortable in terms of the temperatures, with a cooler air mass following the heels of this midweek tropical rainfall event in the Mid-Atlantic region. High temperatures Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, generally confined to the 70s, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. So for the next 12 to 24 hours, significant rain down across the deep south. It shifts to the Tennessee Valley region from late tonight into late tomorrow night, and then into the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast U.S. A significant rain event coming from later Wednesday into early Thursday. That's it for now. For ParatonWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.